My brother, Jodan, and I'm probably the only one here.
Is that on? I'm not sure that's on.
Attention, please.
You know?
It's on, just a little closer to the mic.
Okay. I'm probably the only one here that has known Jodan all of my life. Because he was there when I was born. And we grew up together at what we used to call the Tenney home place, which is down 312, where you turn off to go to Tenney's Chapel Church. There used to be a big house there, and that's where we grew up. And that's where Joe and I learned about life, I guess you might say. And we used to, a few things that I might mention that when we always had 3 or 4 cows to milk. And we would, I don't know, I had one to milk, and I think Joe had one to milk, but they'd be down in the pasture, and we'd have to go get them. Well, it didn't take us long, being boys, to learn that you could ride that cow back to the barn instead of walking. And so we would get on the cow and get the tail up over our shoulder, you know, and here we'd go up there, and we'd milk and, you know, go on home. But I do have a few fond memories, many fond memories, really. One of the memories that I have of Joe, he's 2 years older than I am, and of course he started school before I did. And there used to be a country school called Vernon, and it was about a mile from our house. And most of the time, if you couldn't, you know, get a ride, you walked to school. And when I was 4 years old and Joe was 6, one of my favorite things that I remember, I would go out to the road and look down the road waiting for Joe to come home. Because that was the highlight of my day, is to, you know, be with him. And one of the other things that I remember is we used to truck farm, and we'd raise cucumbers and squash, peas, and so forth. And of course our Uncle Cater was the main one there. Him and earlier in the years we called her Bushy, and then we called her Maud, and then there was Mama, which was our grandmother, and then there was Yar, which was Mama's sister. So we actually had 3 mothers and 1 daddy. They living there. Our parents they passed away in earlier years, but we were lucky, and we grew up knowing them. And you hear today a lot about grandparents that are raising their grandchildren for various reasons. In fact, right next door to where I live now, there's a couple that's about 50 years old that are raising 4 granddaughters, and they're doing a wonderful job. But I want to give my grandmother, or our grandmother, a shout out, I guess you might say. She's been gone many years, but when our parents died, she's the one that took us in. And so that, from what I have learned, kept us from growing up in Butner's Orphans Home. So you never know how your life is going to turn out until it does turn out, I guess you might say. But there are, well, like I say, many memories. One that started talking about the truck farm, and Kay would plant, I don't know, probably an acre or maybe 2 acres of cucumbers. And Joe and I figured out that he planted just enough where we could get halfway over it one day and then finish it the next day, and then you started back over because you picked every other day. And so he always kept us busy. And Joe thought he did that to keep us out of trouble, and which, you know, may be true. But anyway, I just want to let you know what a good brother I have here. And of course, he went to A&M, got a scholarship to A&M, and other than that, there was no money in the family. And I do know for a fact that all the extra money he had during the 4 years was either what he worked for, because he only got one $20 bill from our house, and the rest of it he earned So you talk about working your way through college, this man did. And he has, well, there's many milestones that he has come upon. I really can't remember them all. I know one time he was invited to speak at the graduation and had all of his accolades, and I never heard such an introduction, I guess you might say, which was great, because I knew the man behind the words, and it was great. I just want to wish him a happy birthday, and thank all of y'all for being his friend. And we just ask that God bless each and every one of you, and that you would love you and you praise his name.
Amen.
Thank you.
Amen.
Tommy.